Hello and welcome to my channel. Hi. So today I will be reviewing, what was it called again? Like, Lincoln the Vampire Hunter. Yeah, so I was browsing on HBO Max, and then I saw this movie about to leave, and I was like, I gotta watch this. I got no choice. I have to watch this. So, I decided to click on it, and man, this was a interesting movie, to say the least. I mean, if you couldn't tell by the title. I wrote like a list down when I was like watching the movie of like my thoughts, and yeah, so let's just go down. Um so like it was really weird because like I don't know what I was expecting when I went into this movie. I didn't know a single fucking thing about this movie. It came out like 10 years ago, and I was like, what the fuck is this? He's a Abraham Lincoln, our president, is a vampire hunter. Okay, 10 out of 10 movie. No, I'm just kidding. But like I watched this movie and like it was really weird because in the first like couple minutes like everything's just moving so fast. Like we're in the past and then boom, something happens, and then I think this video will contain spoilers because I mean, come on. Does anyone really care? If not, this video will contain spoilers. Go watch it. Not a bad movie, not great either, but just pretty. Okay, it's bad. It's bad. So like we start out with like a past story of like Lincoln and things, and then like this guy, this slave owner, like bites his mother because he's a vampire. And then Lincoln's up and he sees that, and then his mother gets like an illness and she dies. His dad dies too. Um, and then he goes out to get revenge on this guy, and he's a vampire, so it's like he gets fucked up. Like he doesn't stand a chance. Like he just gets destroyed. But then this other guy comes and he's like, "Oh, don't worry. I got you. I will I'm going to handle this guy and then I'm going to talk to you." And then so he handles him, and then they go back, and then Lincoln wakes up in like this guy's house, and like he's like, "Train me." And the guy's like, "No." And then he's like, "Train me and I'll fight for justice." And then the guy's like, "Yes." So then he starts training him, and then like this training montage is just the weirdest fucking thing. It's just him spinning an axe for like 30 minutes, or not the okay, it wasn't 30 minutes, but like for 5 minutes it was just him going like, "Oh, I'm spinning an axe, this is helping," and then him cutting down a tree in a single cut, which is not possible for a human at all. So it makes you wonder, how the fuck did he do that? Like, he never does anything like that later on in the movie. He just cuts down that tree in one cut, and that's it. That's the only sign of superhuman strength he has. Like, he cuts down the tree and he's like, "Okay, now I'm not going to have superhuman strength. I'm just going to have regular strength." Because that would take so much force, a ridiculous amount of force, impossible by a human. But, you know, he's also a vampire hunter, so I don't think this is the most realistic movie. And then when that super bad training montage is done, like, he gets sent to this, like, they go off, kill vampires for a little bit, then he gets sent to this town, where, like, he stays there for a little bit to, like, hunt vampires in the town, because apparently there's, like, a whole treasure trove of vampires in this town. So he starts hunting them, and then, like, he starts making relationships, starts seeing people, and, like, he just kills vampires at night. He's just like, "Okay, I'm dating my girlfriend in the day, and I'm killing vampires at night." And that's what happens for, like, a big portion of this movie. And it's like, "Oh, I'm killing vampires." And they're like, "Yep, you're killing vampires." But after he's done killing vampires as, like, a daily job, he's like, "Well, time to go look for this guy again that, you know, killed my mother." So this guy comes to town and he's like, "Oh yeah, you can't have family because they'll attack your family." And he's like, "I'm having family." And he's like, "Okay, have family." And then he's like, "Okay, I'm gonna go kill the guy that like killed my family." And the guy's like, "Okay, go do that." So he goes does that very easily. Like, it doesn't even take him that much. Like, there's a whole horse battling scene, and it's like it was actually surprisingly, it didn't look bad. Like, weirdly, like, what was the budget on this fucking movie? Like, it didn't look great, don't get me wrong, but, like, it wasn't the worst thing I've seen. And, like, the horses, I think, were CGI'd, which kind of made them look awkward at moments, but yeah, I don't think it's something you can get past. I think, like, something that's harder to get past is our president, Abraham fucking Lincoln, is a vampire hunter. I think that's harder to get past than the CGI horses. So he kills the guy that like killed everyone, like that killed his mother, and then like for absolutely no reason they kidnap his friend and then go, and then he goes to get his friend back, and then he gets his friend back, like his childhood friend from the very beginning, like since he was like a kid, and he gets him back, and he's like, okay, I'm good now. I'm done. I'm gonna become president. And so he does that, and then he's like, well, I'm president now, so let's abolish slavery. But then the vampires don't like that because they're using slaves as like feeding. So he's like, I'm gonna abolish slavery, and the vampires are like, nah, not without us saying something. So they like go, like, then they like go for his son and like give him the same disease they give his mother, and then he's like, well, shit. And then one guy's like, yo, I can turn him into a vampire. And Abe's like, nope, nope, no vampires. No, I don't want vampires. And he's like, okay. And apparently his wife knew all along for some reason. And then they're like, okay, Battle of Gettysburg. We're going to the Battle of Gettysburg to go fight these vampires. We need silver. And that's another problem I have with this movie. How the fuck have no one noticed the vampires yet? Like, it's like, they're like, what the fuck are these creatures? When they're like showing their powers like right in front of them, and it makes you wonder like, what, where the hell, like, how had they stayed hidden for so long if they're so willing to reveal their powers like it's nothing? So yeah, so they need silver at the Power of Gettysburg because that's what kills vampires in this universe apparently. So they need silver, which I think is a werewolf thing, not a vampire thing, but whatever. Well, that's not the biggest point of this movie. So Abe's like, okay, me, my friend, and my other friend, we're gonna take a train to get this silver to Gettysburg so they can win. And then, so they go on this train, and holy hell, I know this one thing about this movie, and it really showed me in this train battle scene with like the final train battle with like all the vampires, the big conclusion, is how many fucking slow-mos there are in this movie. It's like slow-mo, slow-mo, slow-mo. It's like, stop with the slow-mos. Like, we don't need more. Like, how many more can you just put into 1 second? Like, 1 second of time in like their time becomes like 5 minutes of our time because it's just like, I'm spinning an axe. And this Abe's like doing like trick shots on these vampires, like 360 axe spin chop. It's it's really weird. And like this guy looks like Abraham Lincoln sort of. So like it's really weird seeing like this president like just doing like 360 axe spins and shit. It's really funny. And like another really weird part of this movie is like no one ages except for Abraham Lincoln. Like everyone else still looks relatively young, but like Abe just looks like 40, like he's actually growing while the rest of them look like they did at the beginning of the movie. Like sometimes they'll have gray hairs and then other times they'll like remove the gray hairs and it's like how old are they? Are they vampires? Is everyone in this fucking movie a vampire besides Abraham Lincoln? Like, it's really weird, like, because everyone looks so fucking young compared to Abe. And then, like, another part, like, earlier on in the movie when they go save the guy's best friend, him and this, like, random shop owner immediately become best friends. He's like, I'm gonna tell you everything. And then the other guy's like, okay, tell me everything. Okay, we're best friends now. Let's go kill these vampires. Let's go! And then, like, they go and kill the vampires, and it's just really weird, like, nothing really makes sense. It's like kind of like a fun movie just to sit back and turn on for no reason. Like it's a fun, I imagine it would be fun to watch with friends, like joking with it and like just how bad the movies are. Like it's comedically bad like The Room, if you've ever seen that. Like, it's so bad that it's good. So it's like past that threshold of being bad to like it's good bad. And in the house fighting scene, for some reason it just goes dark for like no reason. Like 1 second it's really bright, the lights are on and everything, and then just goes dark. And it's like, why where was this? Like, why is it going dark? And it was just really weird and jarring. And then there's like vampires all attacking him, and then he was like just chopping them all up with like his axe, and it was really weird. This is a really weird movie if you couldn't tell. One plus to this movie is like the action is surprisingly not bad. I mean, it's not great, don't get me wrong, but it's not bad. Like, I would watch, like, it's better than some movies I've seen. Like, some movies the action is just completely horrible. I don't want to look at this. Like, it has more quality than like something like XR, which is like the bottom barrel of anime content. Yeah, but at the end, there's this big battle on like a burning, like on a train, and then like the bridge gets on fire that the train's about to go on. But then you find out Abraham Lincoln had a 20 IQ brain move, like Death Note's level or Code Geass level of IQ brain move, where like he's like, okay, I'm gonna have my friend betray me on purpose, and then he's gonna tell them a different train location than the one. Like, I'm gonna have him tell this train location, while actually the silver's being traveled through a different method. So all the vampires are gonna be here and not there, killing those people. They're gonna be trying to kill us, but we're badasses, so they can't kill us. And that's basically the whole like ending. Is like, haha, they win because they got the silver there, because like that's all it took to win. Like, let's forget the part where they're like basically still vampires. Like, nah, silver, they're done. They just dropped dead. They're like, oh no, we're done. We quit. They got silver? I'm not doing that. Well, that's about it. I'm uploading a video finally. I just wanted to talk about this movie because it seemed interesting and fun to talk about. So, yeah, thanks for watching, and yeah, that's about it.